One income producing property hit the market today, Sunday, which is normal to see. Let's go ahead, let's check out what that property could actually give in returns. Right off the bat, it's $1 million. So hopefully for $1 million, you're able to really get some good cash flow. What do you guys think? It's a duplex, I'll give you that. I did see it, I took a peek at the property before we went live because it's the only one. And so I'm not going to give you the spoilers, but let's check out really quick. Interest rates for the last week have been more or less around 6.3 to 6.23%, and we use that or we take that off of the federal the Fed, right? The Federal Reserve of St. Louis. They publish this stuff once a week on Thursdays, and so that's the number that we use to in our analysis for the next 7 days, right? Just a quick look at the actual market itself. So if you guys see here in the last 7 days, how many houses have hit the market, right? 1,157 new listings, and in the same period of time, 1,886 listings saw a price decrease. This has been a trend now for over a year, where you see the amount of houses coming onto the market, and the same, if not more, houses are having a price decrease. And that's all these sellers that are hitting the market. They're overly optimistic about the numbers that they could get, and basically on a 1-to-1 ratio, they're all getting slapped down by the market, being told, no, you cannot sell for that price, even though you probably bought for higher. You got to reduce the price, you got to take the hit. Unfortunately, that's the market that we're in. But for buyers, it's a fantastic market, because that means that the probability that you're going to be able to make a C deal turn into a B deal by negotiating the price is pretty high. So with that being said, right, also really quick, interest rates, although they're still high, right, you could use that to your advantage again, because that means that the number of buyers that seller is going to have are going to be less, right? If you barely qualified to buy this, like let's say $1 million home in the past, when interest rates go up, your purchase power goes down. So now you're only being able to maybe afford $950, but that all of a sudden takes you out of the game. And that means that there's less demand for these properties, but that also means that you could go back to that seller, right, and say, hey, Mr. Seller, like, look, I'm only pre-approved for $950, right? This is the best I can do now because the interest rates went up. If I don't buy this house, I'm just going to buy the one next door. And maybe that guy's going to say, like, you know what, just give me the $950. Just give me $950, walk away, right? They don't need to know all this stuff. Like, this is just negotiating points. You could just say, hey, the interest rates went up, my purchase power went down. This is the best that I can do. Let's get a deal together. And you know what? If interest rates improve along the way, you already have a signed contract, right? You already agreed to the $950. That's none of his business if interest rates drop to 4.5 while you are under contract, right? So with that being said, guys, again, I think it's a great time to buy. I myself am refinancing my properties so that I could buy more in this time. And then in the future, my plan is I really do think interest rates will drop eventually once this whole thing with Iran is over. And we're going to have really good interest rates, probably somewhere like in the mid fours. And I'm going to use that time to refinance, right? And get a better position, a better equity position on all of my properties and a better rate, right? Just as a whole. So with that being said, let's check out the property today. We're going to come down here, new multifamilies, right? And there's just one today. And like always, I like to look at this way, and this way we could put it on our calculator. This property is selling at basically 1.1 million, okay? Or yeah, 1.1 million, 099 000, yeah. Okay, and taxes, right now he's paying $14,073 a year in taxes. It's pretty high. The property is not even that big, 1,600 square feet, okay? And the total rent that he's collecting right now is $2,500. So as is, guys, if that's all that they're actually collecting, before we do a rent check, this property is bringing in an abysmal 2.5% return on your investment, okay? And that's if you buy cash. Otherwise, this property is just losing you money every way you look at it, okay? Now, let's quickly look at the quality of the deal and see what's going on, see if there's a way that we can make this property better, if there's information that the listing agent did not put and that we could use to our advantage to get more money out of this deal. Just because they list this information, just remember, most agents as a matter of fact, don't own property. Okay, most agents don't even own property, so they don't know how important it is to list this information correctly so that other people looking to buy property could really analyze it, okay? And so let's take a look at this. Okay, so the property looks pretty nice, okay? Flat, it looks like a flat roof, which I'm not a fan of. But the property next door also seems kind of nice. The driveway needs a little bit of help. I like this little garage. I mean, you could turn this like pretty much right away into like an additional dwelling unit. I would, right? It might be non-conforming, but you know, you could do something with it and start making some money. Okay. Yeah, on the inside it looks pretty nice. Like this bathroom is dated, but it's not terrible. Like it screams Miami, like 1970s Miami. But you know, again, this kitchen, not very nice, but easily fixed. But the property on the outside looks nice. Okay, and those were all the pictures that they gave us. So let's look at the guts of this deal. See what this thing actually is. Okay, and it's a duplex. So it's a turnkey duplex in sought after Buena Vista, which is a good area of Miami. Okay. And let's see what it actually is. Let's see. Upgrades include impact windows, doors, newer AC, updated plumbing and electrical, and beautiful hardwood floors throughout. The renovated unit is currently tenant occupied, providing immediate rental income, while the second unit is vacant and could be updated as well, right? So detached garage with laundry provides convenience and storage, unbeatable location, da 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 da. All right, so they said there's a 2-1, they're collecting $2,500, and this is what I mean, guys. There's another one that's vacant, right? The owner's living in it. But if I were the listing agent, I would tell you what I think this could rent out for, right? Now, let's rent check the $2,500 that they're saying that they're making. In Miami-Dade, the median for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath is $2,300. Given that this property is in Buena Vista, which is this is true, it is a sought-after area, I do think that $2,500 is believable, okay? It's believable for this unit, even though it's not like completely renovated. So I would give this a rent check, okay? But the other unit, the question is, how much do you think that the other unit could rent out for, okay? And if it looks anything like the first unit, then you could assume that this unit could also make $2,500. At that point, it's collecting $5,000 a month. And guys, you don't have to like be a brain surgeon to know that this is it's definitely not 1% of this purchase price. 1% of this purchase price would be basically $11,000. This is $5,000, which puts this at a 0.45%, okay, on the 1% rule, okay? 1% is like over here, and we're all the way over here, right? This properties start making sense when they get close to the 0.7% on the 1% rule, but we're not even close to that, okay? And even if you put down 25% down payment using a DSCR, debt service coverage ratio loan, right? This property wouldn't even pay for your mortgage, right? It would only pay for 76% of the mortgage. Never mind your expenses and the savings that you got to have for capital expenditures like roofs and stuff down the line, and forget about any savings for vacancies. So that being said, right, considering those expenses, the best return that this property could give you if you rent them both out for $5,000 is going to be a 5.2%. Okay. And yeah, maybe you could turn that garage into like some kind of like little like efficiency, a tiny little one. But how much money is that going to actually cost you? Right. That's what you got to figure out. Now, what's a realistic price drop for this? I would say that this guy probably selling in Buena Vista. He's thinking that, he has property in a prime area of Miami. He's not going to want to go down a whole lot, but remember, we just hit the market. It's very soon, right? But I think that eventually this guy might be able to see maybe like a $200,000 price drop, maybe close to like maybe maybe 150,000 at least. So let's say he actually sold for 950, right? I think that that's what this guy would take. Otherwise, he would just probably keep it. Then you're seeing that the best return that you could possibly get here is 5.7. which is still pretty abysmal, and that's dropping it 150K, guys, right? So with that being said, I don't see that there's really like any way that this property could make more money or that you can negotiate money off this property. I would put it in my F tier. Again, another thing that you guys could do is you could set up a list of properties as they have price drops, and now you could reconsider it. Maybe this guy wakes up and really smells the coffee and is like, dude, I'm like overpriced by like double, right? Because that's what he kind of is. This property would need to be in the like $600,000 price range for it to start making some sort of sense, right? And even barely at that, right? He would need to drop his price by $500,000, and then he's just matching the S&P. Now, how realistic is it that this guy drops his price by $500,000? I doubt it, right? And so I don't see this guy being in distress, but I do see this guy selling it. But as the way it is, guys, this property is enough. And that's it for today. There's nothing else. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm sure tomorrow there's going to be a bunch of new properties, and hopefully in there's a property worth looking at. All right. Have a great night. Happy Sunday.